What's going on, everyone? Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about a few different ways to help ensure that your success rate is much higher, basically instant wins within FM23. As this year, let's say there's been some kinks to how certain things occur or to how your tactics may just end up not working all of a sudden. But today I'm going to be bringing you guys a few little tricks that I've been kind of messing around with and that have been helping me a boatload recently. So if you guys happen to enjoy today's video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Now this year, when it comes to tactics, I have been kind of drawn to making sure that I always have a defensive midfielder. And that is because, as you can all see right here, with this 5 in the back, which this tactic will be coming out fairly soon. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that you guys do not miss it, as it will be coming out probably like 5 days from now, maybe even sooner. But I enjoy having defensive midfielders, whether it is 1 or 2. When it's 2, it is absolutely overpowered and really hard to break down your side. You will notice when you're playing against AI, it can be hard to break them down at times too. If you play in the online draft community, you will know that when you are coming up against a tactic like this, it is very difficult to break it down. But one thing that really helps make something like this tick when you're playing 2 defensive midfielders, either having both on defensive midfielder or having at least one on the segundo volante role. What does a segundo volante do, you may ask? They are essentially a ball-winning midfielder and a deep line playmaker combined, intertwined, doing both jobs, but they also can attack. And with an attacking duty on a segundo volante, they're even more OP. The segundo volante is probably my favorite and most underrated role this year within FM23. It is very good, and the plays, the defensive plays that are made with it, along with playmaking, it is absolutely unreal if you have the perfect player to fill that role. And when having 2 defensive midfielders or a defensive mid, say you're playing a 4-3-3, or if you're playing a 4-2-3-1, drop those 2 center midfielders down to the defensive midfield roles, you are going to be winning a lot more games by doing that. I think that there is definitely a reason why in the presets this year that the central midfielders that are usually pushed further forward are now all in defensive midfield roles, because they're basically telling you, look, by playing them here, you're going to have a much higher rate of success. And it is very true. So definitely make sure that you're implementing a defensive midfielder within your sides. If you need to train your players to be able to play this style of football, then that's completely fine. Now, I'm going to be talking about 2 different things that are in the out of possession area of the tactics page. One thing I'm going to be trying to definitely implement more in my tactics I'm creating is using the mid block. The high press can definitely be caught out. I learned that today, unfortunately, in an online draft. And the low block, while yes, it can definitely work, it's just, I feel it limits you big time. Using a mid block is the best of both worlds, and it is very good. Yes, it's not as good as a high press attacking wise. Yes, it's not as good defensively as a low block, because then you make sure that you are trying to keep anything and everything out of your box. But playing a mid block, like I said, it's the best of both worlds. You get the offense, you get the defense, and if you are using a positive or attacking mentality, or even have to go very attacking within your matches, it performs like a high press to an extent. If you have to go cautious or defensive, it performs like a low block to an extent. So using a mid block is definitely something that I would try and implement more within my tactics, whether you're playing a 5 in the back, 3 in the back, 4 in the back, whatever you may do. It is a viable option playing a mid block. If you're using a 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 3-4-3, whatever it may be, utilize a mid block. It will be life changing, especially if you're using 2 defensive midfielders. You will definitely notice a big difference. Now, the next I'm going to be talking about that you guys can see here on the screen is these arrows to the outside in this darker green right here. That's because for the pressing trap, I have trap outside. Why do I have trap outside? For some reason, because I have tried not using a trap, I have tried using trap inside, I have tried trap outside. Trap outside, I feel, works the best out of any of those three options. It really allows you to kind of just close down everything, take away all options that the opponent may have, especially if you use opposition instructions, which I'll get into in a moment. And if you do end up struggling with, okay, even though I'm trapping them outside, they're still getting crosses in, well, guess what? You just go right here and you click stop crosses for cross engagement. And it can help you close down on that even more, to where then literally your opposition has no options. So if you're implementing a mid block, 2 defensive midfielders, and trap to the outside, you are definitely sitting pretty if you're implementing all three. If you're implementing certain things from this that I'm letting you guys know, then great. You will definitely have a much higher success rate. But if you are trying to implement all these together, which they all kind of fit each other like a glove, it is very impressive. Now I'm going to be discussing opposition instructions. Everyone is always wondering, especially with my tactics, yo, do you have any opposition instructions on it? Or what oppositions instructions should I be implementing when I am playing against, whether it is an elite club like Real Madrid or if it is someone like frickin' Crawley Town? It can vary for sure, but what I have found to be the most effective is making sure that you not only trigger press always on the right back, and where is it? I can't read. There we go. DL right underneath. Come on, Gormy. Trigger press the right back and the left back. Same thing with a wing back on the right and wing back on the left. But you also show them onto their weaker foot, because the majority of the time they are very one-footed. And if you are pressing them, putting them under pressure, you're showing them onto their weaker foot, they're going to panic. And it is not going to be a fun time for your opposition, whether it's the AI or if you are doing an online save with some buddies or whatever. Doing that to the right back and the left back, or the wing back on the right or left, really, really affects how your opponent builds out. Because a majority of the time now, teams like to build out from the back. If they don't, then this still definitely works because it takes away the wide options. But especially if a side is building out from the back, putting this on for your opposition instructions from game to game is definitely going to be a game changer for you. The same thing applies to if they are using wingers. So say the side is using a 3-4-3, you need to put it on the midfield on the right, midfielder on the left, or if they're just using wingers, you do the same thing there. And then the striker, of course, you definitely want to be, no matter how many strikers there are, no matter how good they are, you want to show them onto their weaker foot. I know that there are players that don't really have a weak foot that play up top, especially a player like Erling Haaland, but putting them onto their weaker foot, you will have a slightly higher chance to make sure that they do not have the opportunity to hurt your side. And if you were implementing the trigger presses on the wing backs, they're not going to be able to get the ball. So if you're implementing that and you are making sure that the striker has a less likely of a chance to score, then I mean it's a win-win and you were sitting pretty. Now the last thing I'm going to be discussing today is something that I'm not sure a whole heck of a lot of people really utilize. I haven't really utilized it a whole heck of a lot until my most recent save that I have started with USG in Belgium, and it's a Moneyball save that I'm doing, so I kind of need to be more heavily focused on statistics and analysis. And I'm going to be talking about how to make the data hub help you win. So here we are, main data hub page. What we're going to do, we're going to go up to team, just click team. Now this is how I have my stuff set up. I'm going to remove me from the screen real quick so that you guys can see everything that I have, so that you guys can implement it on your guys' team screen. Make sure that you guys are adding these in, because this helps you break down every area of the game where you are either succeeding or not having a whole lot of success in. And if there are areas that you need to improve, for instance, my goalkeeping right here, or aerial ability, defensive efficiency, where yes, it's an impenetrable defense, but they are busy, then I definitely need to figure out some tweaks to help improve that. Making sure that you are analyzing every couple games, maybe do it every 3 to 5 games, figuring out, okay, what can I do to help make sure that everything is in the best possible situation for my side, so that instead of having infrequently wins ball, reliable in possession, having this be orange or goldish, you have it being green, high scoring, high expected goals, that type of stuff. You want to make sure that you are always in the green, and if you are making those little tweaks to make sure that you are getting there, it is going to be harder and harder and harder to beat you, and make sure that your success rate gets higher and higher and higher. And if you implement a whole bunch of these different things that I have discussed here today with you guys, you are going to be doing nothing but win. An instant win button is basically what all this stuff is. You implement little parts of this or try and implement all of it, you're going to do nothing but get points, whether they're draws or wins. You are going to be at the top of the table more often than not. So that wraps things up for today's video. If you guys happen to enjoy, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribing is 100% free, so why not hit that sub button. Let me know down below if there's any certain things that you like to implement that helps you win more often than not. And if there are any of these things that you are going to implement into your game to help take your team to the next level. Also, let me know what you guys have on your team analytics screen in the data hub, if you guys end up using that, or if you end up using this, let me know how it helps you improve your side over time. But with that being said, until next time, have a good one. Bye-bye.